Hello everyone and welcome to the F1 Corner. I hope you are doing well. We are here today to discuss, after this winter testing period of 3 days last weekend, where do we think every team stacks up and how is this 2021 season shaping? So we won't wait too long. I just want to put a quick disclaimer here. Everything I'm about to say is pure speculation. Is based only on, of course, the available information about each team and what we've seen during testing. So there is really no definitive answer, and it's more of a fun challenge to take on. Before we start, remember to hit the like button and to subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any news regarding Formula One. So, let's start at the bottom. Which team do we think is in worse shape for this year at this point? And we're gonna have to go with Haas. So, no one is foolish enough to think that Haas will have a great season this year, but with what we've seen during winter testing and what we know, it's going to be a tough season. Already, we know that there won't be any development or barely any development done on the car this year. They're putting all their eggs for 2022 next year. Even though during testing we did see a few different parts being put on the car, so it's not like there was literally zero budget for this year, but the two drivers, Mick Schumacher, Nikita Mazepin, two rookie drivers arriving in a team that does not have as much money as some of the others. And when you look at the timing sheet, the fastest time set by Haas during those 3 days was the slowest of the 10 teams by over a second after Aston Martin. So really it's a tough one to call, but Haas will be probably fighting just to get a few points this season like Williams were last year. We wish them luck though, and for both drivers it's going to be more of a learning experience than really a big competition this year, we believe. Next in ninth place we go with Williams. Again, a team from which we don't expect that many great results this year, but now that finally they have some money secured in the bank with the new owners, the Wilton Capital, and also with the improvement that they've made since last year, there are reasons to believe that they could be in the points at least on a few occasions this season. They made the 6th fastest time on this track during the winter testing, which is not bad. Never on top of the timing sheet, of course, but testing went smoothly for them. George Russell and Nicolas Latifi picking up a lot of lap. Roy Nissany, the reserve driver, running on Friday. And no reliability issues, everything running well. They tick their boxes and gain some valuable information. There will probably be a little bit of development on that car at the beginning of the season, especially if it shows some potential for points. And for Williams, it's really all about getting back into that midfield group, even if it's only at the back, and showing that they are heading in the right direction. Next, we will put Alfa Romeo in 8th place. It's also going to be a tough season for Alfa, but we can already see some improvement, at least some tentative improvement from last year. The team has worked on the nose of the car, and they also will benefit from what we hear is more powerful Ferrari engine. So that's already that in the bank for them. They have two experienced drivers in Antonio Giovinazzi and Kimi Raikkonen. Raikkonen even running the most lap of everyone on Sunday with 164. So the Iceman is still apt to drive a Formula One car, and even getting among all the teams the 4th fastest time for Alfa Romeo. So not bad. They could be in the mix. They could even be fighting again with Ferrari at some point if they have issues. And I think there's a fairly good chance that Alfa Romeo will be back this year in the points on a more regular basis. AlphaTauri we put in 7th place, and this was a really tough spot for me. I hesitated between a few teams, but we go with AlphaTauri because if all the other teams made improvement, this is probably where they will be, in 7th place. They had an excellent run during winter testing. Yuki Tsunoda getting the 2nd fastest time, less than a tenth of a second behind Max Verstappen. And yeah, again, both drivers just ticking the box, going on with the program. Pierre Gasly happy with the car, same for Yuki Tsunoda, who seemed to really be adapting to this AlphaTauri car. It looks like it's an easy car to drive from a Formula 1 driver perspective. Looks performant, going easy in the corner, going well also on the straights. It's really a car that has the best bits of everything, and I think they could also mix up with the front midfield like they did last year on some occasions. But supposing that everyone made some progress, I don't see them higher than 7th best at this point in the year. I'm gonna go in 6th. I'm gonna go once again with Ferrari. Tough decision again, but I was not convinced by what I saw of Ferrari over the weekend. Both drivers, Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, seem to be relatively happy with the car. Sainz getting accustomed to it, and Charles giving more feedback as he know how the car felt last year. Even on the team side, they say that they are happy with the result that they are seeing, the improvement that they have. So they potentially have a good car there, but more than once during the practice, we were not convinced, especially on Saturday, where a few drivers, including a Red Bull and an AlphaTauri, were doing race pace at the same time with a Ferrari, and the Ferrari seemed like it had trouble catching up, doing the same time as even the Alpha. So it's one of those teams that, I don't think they're gonna be as awful as they were last year, but there's no reason for me to believe that they have improved as much as to be back on the top midfield, sadly. But once again, I hope they prove me wrong and that they will show us some surprises. In 5th, Aston Martin, X Racing Points, coming up with Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll, team that probably had one of the worst winter testing run, with issues on Friday and Saturday, and the team only ranking up 306 laps, the least of any team. This year they cannot also rely on being a copy of Mercedes, so they had to do the whole development themselves. So yeah, really not a lot of lap ran by them, and I think it's just that they had a tough program and they probably did not learn everything that they needed to learn from that car. There's no true reason to put them farther than that, of course, on the grid, considering that last year they were fighting for 3rd place, but I don't see them fighting this high this year, at least the beginning of the season. It will really depend of what they were able to learn from the start of this testing period. We're gonna go in 4th with Alpine Renault. Alpine, newcomer as a brand, but it's still the old Renault inside it. Fernando Alonso back on track, Esteban Ocon too. We did not hear much from them during those 3 days of testing. It seemed like everything went pretty smoothly for them, and there's really not much to say. It all depends now on what they were able to learn, and if that car is better than last year with the rebranding and the new management. And also, did they continue on the drive that they were at the end of last season? Because toward the end of 2020, they were arguably the fourth best car with 3 podiums, 2 by Daniel Ricciardo and 1 by Esteban Ocon. And yeah, they were regularly in front of both the Racing Points and the McLaren. So if they continue on this, there is no reason why they could not come back at the front of this field maybe this season. In third, we have to put McLaren. They had an amazing practice this weekend. Switching to a Mercedes engine, we expected them to be probably a bit farther in the back since they had to rework that car, and maybe would face reliability issues since it's all a new package for them. But instead, what we saw was perfect runs, no big issues identified from what we know. Daniel Ricciardo setting the fastest time on 2 mornings, Friday and Saturday. Lando Norris giving some pretty good performance of himself, and really it's now a matter of to see once again, are they continuing on that run from last year? Because like I said, we all suppose of what we're seeing with those practice run, and McLaren is only the 7th fastest time of all the teams, but like I said, had an excellent run and looked like they were strong on track, so they could once again be fighting for third. And with that Mercedes engine in the back, I honestly see them fighting for podiums on a few occasions if luck is on their side this year. Second, I'm gonna put Mercedes. I won't dare say that Mercedes won't win the championship again this year. It is too early to say so, but they had the second worst run of anyone with gearbox issues on Friday. Lewis Hamilton also not happy with his pedals on Friday and having to come back in the pit and lose sometimes there. On Saturday, the car was snappy and unforgiving, as Valtteri Bottas said. We saw Hamilton beach that car early on Saturday, go for a few spins, and even on Sunday, it was a rough ride. Both drivers not really happy with that car, and because of all that time that they missed, they barely did about 10 laps more than Aston Martin, so really not a great start for the defending champions. He also, on the timing sheet, when you look at everything, 5th best time, which is not bad all things considered, but we are used to seeing them at least close to the top on every day. And this year, except on Saturday where Bottas did set a fast lap, they were never close to even being on top of the timing sheet, which is a bit strange, but we'll see when we get there in 2 weeks. Toto Wolff and Hamilton both saying that yes, there is a lot more to learn about that car, and they seem to be puzzled by their low fuel pace. So all topics to follow, and I think that for once Mercedes might be a little bit on the back foot this season. And finally, in first place, we're gonna put Red Bull, just like their sister team AlphaTauri. Perfect run, no reliability issues, nothing major to identify. The car seems to be driving well, that Honda engine seems to be reliable. They did the best time of everyone on Sunday and of the whole weekend. Max Verstappen seems to be happy with that car overall. Sergio Perez, maybe a little bit less, but I think he's just not giving anyone false hope of him being at the top right on the first week of racing. He acts like someone who knows he's got more to learn and that he knows his potential is not fully unlocked yet. We're gonna give him a chance, of course. He's getting at Red Bull, first time ever in a top team for the Mexican driver. So first few races are more of a test for him, and then once we approach mid-season, this is where we'll see if really he is learning from that Red Bull and is worth of being in that seat and can push Max Verstappen. But for the team itself, yeah, just everything going well with an engine that we feared might be not as reliable as it should, since it's pretty much the 2022 package that Honda brought forward early, since they are leaving at the end of the season. And yeah, Red Bull just seem to have a good car this season. Will they be in front of Mercedes? It's tough to say, we're only speculating at this point. But if Red Bull had such a good run and Mercedes is a little bit in trouble like we saw and like we think, we could have finally a two-team battle for the championship. Who knows? We're gonna see all of that in 2 weeks. Thank you for watching, everyone. That's all I have for today. Hit the like button. Please subscribe to this channel. Leave a comment. What do you think will happen this season? Who will come out on top? And I will see you once again really soon with more news. Thank you for watching, everyone, and have a good day.